In the ageless expanse where eternity breathes, a question was posed, a challenge whispered amidst swirling clouds and celestial light. In the land of Uz, there lived a man named Job. His life was a symphony of blessings, a testament to a righteous heart. He was blameless and upright, a man who feared God and shunned evil. His days were filled with the laughter of his children, the wealth of his flocks, and the warmth of a sun that seemed to shine just for him. He was a pillar of his community, a harbor for the needy, a man whose prosperity was matched only by his piety. But in the unseen realms, where cosmic forces contend, his perfect world was about to be put to the ultimate test. A shadow fell, and a wager was made on the soul of this righteous man. Could his faith endure the fire? Or would it, like all earthly things, turn to ash? The first whisper of doom arrived on the wind, carried by a messenger whose face was a mask of terror. He spoke of raiders, of stolen oxen and donkeys, of servants cut down by the sword. Before the dust of his words could settle, another arrived, his voice choked with smoke. He told of fire from the heavens, a divine inferno that had consumed the sheep and their shepherds. The air grew thick with dread. A third messenger followed, his eyes wide with the horror of a Chaldean raid that had swept away the camels and slaughtered more of Job's people. Yet, the cruelest blow was still to come. The final messenger, barely able to stand, brought news that shattered Job's world. A mighty wind, a cyclone from the wilderness, that struck the house where his sons and daughters were feasting. The foundation gave way, the walls collapsed, and all were gone. In a single, horrific moment, the symphony of his life fell silent. The sounds of joy were replaced by the deafening roar of loss. Job fell to his knees, his hands clawing at the earth that had just swallowed his entire. He tore his robe, a visceral cry of a heart ripped in two. Dust and tears mingled on his face, tracing pathways of unspeakable grief. He shaved his head, a sign of utter desolation. Yet, through the agony, through the storm of pain that threatened to drown him, a single, defiant whisper escaped his lips. "The Lord gave and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord." But the trial was far from over. The test of his spirit was followed by a test of his flesh. A cruel affliction descended upon him, covering his body from the soles of his feet to the crown of his head with agonizing sores. The man who once stood tall in prosperity now sat in a heap of ashes, a pariah in his own land. The vibrant colors of his former life bled into cold, desaturated grays. He took a piece of broken pottery, scraping at his festering wounds, each movement a fresh wave of torment. His breath was a shallow rasp, his body a landscape of pain. His wife, her own heart shattered by loss, and now witnessing his decay, looked at him with a mixture of pity and despair. "Curse God and die," she cried, her voice hollow. But Job, even in his wretched state, held firm. "Shall we accept good from God and not trouble?" His friends, Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar, arrived from afar. When they saw him, they could not recognize the man they once knew. They wept aloud, tore their robes, and sprinkled dust on their heads. For 7 days and 7 nights, they sat with him on the ground, in silence. Their presence was a heavy shroud, their silence a testament to a grief so profound that words were meaningless. They were witnesses to a suffering that seemed to defy all reason, a darkness so complete it blotted out the sun. The silence finally broke, not with a cry for help, but with a curse. Job opened his mouth and cursed the day of his birth. He longed for the darkness of the womb, for the peace of non-existence. He looked to the unforgiving sky, his voice trembling with a desperate plea. Why? Why was I born to suffer this? Why does God give light to those in misery and life to the bitter of soul? The vast, empty desert mirrored the desolation in his heart. A solitary tree stood silhouetted against the bleak horizon, its gnarled branches reaching like skeletal fingers toward an indifferent heaven. His friends, once silent witnesses, now became his accusers. They spoke of hidden sins and divine justice, their words like stones cast at a drowning man. They reasoned that such a man's suffering must be the wage of some secret iniquity. Their faces, cast in harsh shadows, became masks of judgment. Each argument was a new wound, a betrayal that cut deeper than his physical sores. They dissected his life, searching for a flaw, a crack in his righteousness to justify his plight. They could not comprehend a world where the innocent suffer. Job, isolated and tormented, defended his integrity against their pious accusations, his spirit refusing to be crushed under the weight of their judgment. He was alone, wrestling not just with God, but with the very meaning of faith in a world that had turned to chaos. As the arguments faded into the howling wind, the sky began to churn. The horizon darkened, and the air grew heavy with an electric charge. A storm of unprecedented fury gathered, a tempest that seemed to pull the heavens down to the earth. From the heart of the whirlwind, a voice emerged. It was not a voice of comfort, but of untamed, cosmic power. A voice that rumbled with the energy of creation, deep and resonant, shaking the very ground on which Job stood. Where were you when I laid the earth's foundation, who marked off its dimensions? Have you ever given orders to the morning, or shown the dawn its place? The voice spoke of leviathans in the deep and constellations in the night sky, of the birth of the ocean and the storehouses of the snow. Abstract, breathtaking visuals of galaxies being born, of lightning splitting the clouds, of mountains rising from the void, filled the celestial canvas. God did not answer Job's question of why. Instead, he revealed his sheer, immeasurable, and incomprehensible sovereignty. He unveiled a universe so vast, so complex, so far beyond human understanding that Job's suffering, while immense, was but a single thread in an infinite tapestry. Before this awesome display of divine majesty, Job was humbled. He saw his own smallness, the futility of his questions. He placed his hand over his mouth. "I am unworthy," he whispered, his despair transforming into reverent awe. "My ears had heard of you, but now my eyes have seen you. Therefore I despise myself and repent in dust and ashes." And then, as the storm subsided, the light returned. Not the harsh sun of the desert, but a gentle, golden light, like the first rays of a new creation. The colors of the world, once washed out in gray, became vibrant and warm. A soft, hopeful melody began to swell, washing over the desolate landscape. The sores on Job's body faded, his skin becoming whole and unblemished. He stood, no longer frail, but renewed. A soft smile touched his lips, as tears of relief and gratitude streamed down his face. The Lord restored his fortunes, giving him twice as much as he had before. His home, once a pile of rubble, was rebuilt. The sounds of life and laughter returned, more joyful than ever. New sons and daughters filled his halls, and his flocks and herds multiplied, spreading across the greening pastures. His final years were more blessed than his first. In the last light of the setting sun, Job stands, surrounded by his family, his face serene. He slowly raises his hands toward the heavens, not in questioning, but in pure, unshakable praise. He had walked through the deepest valley of suffering and emerged, not broken, but refined. He had wrestled with God and found not answers, but God himself. His story became an eternal testament to a faith that can withstand the darkest of nights and find redemption in the light of dawn. Thank you for watching. If this story moved you, please consider subscribing for more content that explores the depths of faith and the human spirit. Follow us on our journey